Conclusion inevitable.
It was a jump to conclusions, Matt.
My conclusion was that this idea was not a practical deterrent.
My only conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
In conclusion.
Hello there, folks. Welcome back to In Conclusion, the only movie podcast that dares to ask the question, "Oh, hey there, how you doing?" I'm Dan O'Keefe, and joining me, as always, accent ready to go, it's Anna Otto. How are you, Anna?
What are you talking about? Why does everybody say that? I want you to know, so when Gage and I first met, we did a Christmas show together, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the characters, like a bunch of the characters, it took place in Wisconsin, and everybody was supposed to do exaggerated Wisconsin accents. And I said to Gage, like, we were not dating or anything yet. I pulled him aside. I was like, hey, can you help me with this accent? I have no idea how you guys are doing it. And he goes, oh, that's just because you already talk like that. I'm still marrying this man. Yeah. Like, what was I thinking? Also, another thing I'm going to say before we get into it about my life. Before my grandma passed away, she had a really thick accent like this. And every time I talked to her on the phone, my accent would get exponentially worse. And so I was laughing while we were watching this because every once in a while they'd say something and I'd be like, I do not sound like that. And Gage would be like, yes, you do. Like every time they go, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What was the other thing? Oh, they said yeah, no in this, which I found out is like a Midwest thing saying, oh, yeah, no. Or, oh, no, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what do they mean? Yeah. What does each one mean?
Yeah, no is like no. Mm-hmm. And no, yeah is yeah.
What about yeah, no, yeah?
That's probably a yeah. I'd have to hear the conversation.
Yeah, I think it is just the last word that you throw on in
yeah.
there. Like, yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm sure if you listen to this podcast, it's been done before.
No, yeah, no, of course
by either
it's been
one
done.
Of us. Dan, did you do that in Illinois? Like, was that a thing before you came to Wisconsin?
Yeah, not with the accent, but yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But I don't have an accent. Your wife has an accent. Yourself.
You both have accents.
Yeah, and she's a radiant, gorgeous queen with a beautiful speaking voice.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Correct. You also both have very strong Wisconsin accents. I don't have a very strong Chicago accent because when I was in middle school, I was like, I don't want one. So I forced it out of myself, much to the detriment of my own personal enjoyment, because it would be a lot more fun if I was like hot dog all the time. But I'm not. I'm like hot dog. I don't say hot. I say hot, and it's disappointing.
Yeah. How do you say Wisconsin?
Wisconsin. Not Wisconsin.
Nasal, Dan.
Wisconsin. Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Who are you, Count Dracula?
Wisconsin.
Like, I feel like you're coming to suck my blood. Like, that's literally the vibe.
The two words that I say very wrong are, or I guess I say catch instead of catch. Like, I'm very high on the A.
I say catch.
And I say words with a long UL sound. I say, like, skull. I say it so far in the back of my throat.
Yes, we had this conversation. I think it was last week because I say skull.
Yeah, skull.
Like a normie.
Yeah, you say it like a regular person. I'm just trying to make myself more interesting after I tried to remove everything interesting about my accent 15 years ago.
I didn't know I had an accent until I got to college, and nobody could understand me when I said, hey, can you hand me my bag?
No one could understand you. You went to college 30 minutes away from where you grew up.
I know, but shockingly, there were not a lot of people, like, in my class. Nobody else was born and raised in Wisconsin.
No one. No one in the entirety of your Marquette University graduating
Well, no, I'm
class.
talking about, like, my theater,
okay.
theater class, specifically.
No, they were all very erudite.
Even in my digital media class, 99% of the people I knew were all from Illinois, I feel like.
Interesting.
Smatterings of other. I'm trying to think. I'm racking my brain. There's probably somebody in our theater class who's like, oh, from Wisconsin, but I'm 99% sure they're all, like, the one other person who was from Wisconsin was not from Wisconsin. She moved there in high school. So
And there's a purity test.
period. It comes to cheese. You close your eyes and you have to say which one's from Vermont and which one's from Wisconsin.
How long do you have to have lived somewhere to say that you are from somewhere?
I would say
Okay, do you not hear your accent right there?
no.
I would say,
I do not say. Oh, this is going to be the whole time. I'm sorry, dear listener.
oh, this is gonna be the
I
whole
would say, I would say that you have to be like 5 years lived there to say that you are from there. When somebody else asks you, like from outside the state, be like, "Oh, I'm from Nashville." But I feel like if you're in Wisconsin or like wherever it is that you're from, like, how do I word this?
so I lived in Wisconsin.
I don't know.
I lived in Wisconsin for roughly 5.5 years. During that point, was I ever able to say, "Oh yeah, I'm from Wisconsin"?
I feel like you should have said, "I'm from Illinois, but I live in Wisconsin."
Even 5.5 years in.
Yeah.
How elitist of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you tell the difference between a Vermont and a Wisconsin cheese?
No.
Me either.
Anyway, the movie that we're talking about today is Fargo.
Fargo.
Together,
That was on purpose.
we go far. Wells Fargo. I got it.
Yes.
Written and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen, starring Frances McDormand, William H. Macy, Steve Buscemi, Harvey Presnell, and Peter Stormare, with cinematography by Big Roger Deakins. Released on March 8th, 1996, with a budget of $98 million. No, it was 98 minutes long, with a budget of $7 million. I don't know where they would have.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is everyone named Roger a Big Raj?
Everyone who's important who's a Roger is a Big Raj. So, like, Roger Deakins, yeah. Roger Ebert, absolutely. Roger Federer, 100%.
Roger Rabbit?
No.
Oh.
He's Slim Raj.
Oh.
He's Slippery
Wow.
Raj.
He truly is.
Who's another Roger?
Mr.
That's Fred.
Big Raj, Mr. Fred Rogers.
With a budget of $7 million, it made $60.6 million at the box office. On Rotten Tomatoes, it is a 94% approval rating, with an average rating of 8.8 out of 10. Violent, quirky, and darkly funny, Fargo delivers an original crime story and wonderful performance by McDormand. Big Roger Ebert, declared it his best film of 1996. It was the fourth best of all of the films in the 90s, according to him. This has been added to the National Film Registry in 2006. The WGA ranked the film's screenplay as the 32nd greatest ever. At the Academy Awards, it was nominated for 7 Oscars, winning 2. It was nominated for Best Film Editing, Best Cinematography, Best Supporting Actor for William H. Macy, Best Director, and Best Picture. And it won Best Original Screenplay and Best Actress for Frances McDormand.
Slay Queen.
Do you know what it lost Best Picture to?
In 1996?
Yes. You're not going to get it.
Can I have a hint?
It's about World War II.
Is it Saving Private Ryan?
It is not. It is The English Patient.
Oh, bleh! Hiss! Boo! Hiss! Boring! Snooze!
I've always
I know I'm going to catch flack for that, but...
Well, it's 2.5 hours long. You're fine. It is kind of boring.
The snooze patient. The sleeping patient.
And I love long
The thumbs
movies.
down.
Yeah. No, I've only seen clips of it, and I'm like, wow. He's really... Rafe Fiennes is really attractive, but that's about it.
He is a king. But... sometimes it doesn't matter how good the actor is. The movie can still suck. You know? That's just the vibe.
That's true. That is not what happened with Fargo, though. All the actors are
this
great,
movie
and it
flew
slaps.
by. It slayed, honestly. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. No, me too. I didn't really know what the plot was or anything. I knew there was a murder, and it was set in Minnesota, despite being called Fargo. But this is such... It just keeps rolling. This movie just rolls along.
Yeah, I don't get why it was called Fargo, but I guess they could have called it the Twin Cities, and it would not have rolled off the tongue quite as well.
The original name was Brainerd, but that did not roll off the tongue as well and wasn't as interesting as Fargo.
Okay. Well, sorry if you can hear the rustling of my Kleenexes. I have COVID. So, anyway. Good thing Dan and I aren't in the same room.
No,
anyway,
we normally record in the same room.
I fly out once a week.
Yes.
Take that, Taylor Swift. With your personal jet bills. No, I enjoyed this. I thought it was fun. I love a good murder mystery. Murder.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say murder, but there's no mystery this time. It's just murder.
It's just murder, but the murder doesn't actually happen until like an hour in.
I loved it. I freaking loved this movie. I think it was because, for me, the things I like the most are I love a good accent. They make me feel safe, even though I also am like, hey, I don't sound like that. Apparently I do.
Hey, I don't sound like that.
It was a personal attack when the son said that he wanted to go hang out with his friends at McDonald's, because that's what me and my friends did when we were in high school, and I was like, uh-oh.
Oh my gosh. You hung out at McDonald's?
There was nowhere else cool to hang out. It was either that or my friend's basement.
Yeah.
So if we wanted food, yeah, we had to go up to McDonald's.
There's tons of cool things to do in your hometown.
I'm not going downtown.
You're not going to downtown Franklin?
Well, we didn't have The Rock when I was in high school.
Yeah, but you had a Target.
I knew you were going to say some tomfoolery. Yes, we had a Target. But we would go to the McDonald's.
You didn't go to the Hampton Inn & Suites lobby?
That didn't exist when I was in high school.
Oh, you didn't go to the
though.
Staybridge Suites Milwaukee Airport lobby?
No. I did stay there for a birthday party once, though.
You could have gone to... There's not much in Franklin. Wow.
I told you. Okay, it's popping now because we have our own minor league baseball team. Go Milkmen.
Yeah, that's true. I thought they were in Kenosha.
My mom... No, that's the Kingfish.
Listen to yourself. Listen to how you say no. I'm just trying to pull your
No.
accent out. You were just like, no, that's the
No.
Kingfish.
I told you, whenever... It's a problem. Whenever I used to talk to my grandma on the phone, it used to get worse. And whenever I watch things where my accent is mentioned, it gets worse. And, like, I don't know why. It just happens.
Well, you know how there's a thing that people do, like, sympathetic accents where they start to talk like the people that they're talking to?
Yeah.
I just like to imagine you doing that, but it keeps slipping into a Wisconsin accent no matter, like, you're talking to a British person and you're like, oh, fish and chips.
I was told that also my mom has a really thick accent, which she denies too, but she and I will just be like, oh no, on the phone. Or be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really...
Sometimes I hear her go, yeah.
It's really hard to acknowledge... I'm not going to say flaws, but acknowledge your differences. When you
It's
just
such a
wanna fit
lame
in.
accent. Like, the whole country got sexy Southern accents, you got sexy New York accents.
Sexy Southern accents? Sexy New York
talking like-
accents?
Yeah,
What?
those are the two I think are sexy.
Mr. Beauregard, I'm sweating like
I
a whore in church.
Oh, somebody crack a window.
Lady is...
Okay, maybe not like
perspiring.
Clarabelle Cow Southern
And
accent,
then like,
but you know.
hey there, sexy. That was not a...
What was that? Was me.
That was you. I was trying to do a New York accent.
New York.
Hey, New York. Hey, yeah, this is such a sexy accent. Hey, come over here. Come to my tiny apartment.
But then, like, then you get this. Oh, hey there, you want to come over and we can drink a couple of sodas? And, well, people around here say soda, but
Yeah,
in some
it's
parts
soda
of
is
the state they say
correct.
pop. Yeah, thank you. I'll never forget, I went to a boyfriend's house in Ohio, and his mom said, would you like something to drink? And I said, what sodas do you have? And she laughed.
What?
She laughed because they say pop.
Absurd.
Crying, screaming, crying, throwing up. She said, oh, your little accent's so cute.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. Oh, well.
Anyway, my accent's probably going to be bad this episode because we're talking about it.
Episode. It's the O's. It's just the O's.
I just can't tell if I do that normally. It might be worse. Sorry, everyone.
That's good.
There's this one podcast that I listened to where they were talking about something happening in New York, and as a result, the one podcast host who's from New York, her accent was significantly stronger than usual. And I was like, that's such a fucking mood. Here we go.
So anyway, in Fargo, it's 1987. It says that this
Good
is
year.
based. Yeah, I remember that year well. It says this is based on a true story. It's not.
Yeah, I can't remember what. I think it was in one of our classes in college, the one that I thought you and Tom took with me, but you didn't. Where I heard that people like went out and tried to find the money that was buried in this movie. Spoiler alert, but like it wasn't there because it's not real.
Yes.
And so the town had to say, "Hey, yo, this isn't real. Stop digging up our dirt."
Visit Brainerd, but don't come for the money. There's nothing there.
Don't visit that hard. Come
so
for the Paul Bunyan.
it's 1987, and Jerry Lundegaard, sniveling little car salesman, who sucks as a person. He is
True.
desperate for money. He's trying to get $1 million from his father-in-law, Wayne Gustafson.
Who's kind of he gives me the ick.
Sure, everybody gives me the
You don't
ick
think
in this.
so?
No, I agree. I think most of them do. And any car salesman does.
Yeah. Sorry, car salesman. No
We love you.
disrespect.
Just don't be icky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Desperate for money. So, you know how he figures out that he's got to get money? He's got to have his wife kidnapped.
The scream I scrumped when I figured it out.
So he gets a mechanic to arrange a meeting for Jerry in Fargo at a bar with Carl Showalter and Ger Grimsrud.
Scary name.
But
But what Steve Buscemi was giving with the mustache this movie.
Steve Buscemi was great in this.
I said, okay, King. And see, that's the problem. I said to Gage, I was like, I think the reason why I like Coen Brothers movies so much is because they always cast people I really enjoy. And I love Steve Buscemi, in case you didn't know.
That makes it really... I'm so interested that you haven't seen True Grit.
I know.
It's got Matt Damon.
Cowboys are... But cowboys.
Yeah.
Like, I like cowboys in my sexy books.
Sure.
But if they're not, like, you know...
But it's Matt
Wink.
Damon with a mustache.
Hold on. Let me give this a goog.
And
True Grit.
Domhnall Gleeson.
Hang on. Matt Damon. True Grit. Hit me with these images. Damn! Wait, hold on. What year is this?
2010.
No. What year does the movie take place in?
1870 something.
I'm gonna say it's like hot, but it's also kind of giving like wrong side of the war. So I don't really know.
It's post-war, I think.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
This is the
1870.
one. This is the one that Haley Steinfeld had her big debut in, right?
Yes, she's great in it too.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's all coming clear to me. Okay. Okay. Maybe I'll give it a watch.
Thank you for listening to our Fargo podcast, where we recommend other movies for Anna to watch based on attractiveness.
Such is life.
So
I got nothing to do tomorrow. I'm on my last day of quarantine, so.
So they agreed to do the job. Jerry gives them a new Oldsmobile, oxymoron, and he promises them half of the ransom money, which will be $80,000. So then he pitches a real estate deal to his father-in-law, Wade, because he thinks he will give him $750,000 to finance it. An unsecured loan, basically, here, just give me this so I can build a parking lot.
Oh, that doesn't seem like a well thought out plan, if I'm being honest.
No. Why not go to a bank? Is it because you have no financial backing to get a loan like this? Yes.
I bet he has a horrible credit score and his father paid for their house.
I 100% believe that.
Yeah.
But
He seems kind of like a loser and a half.
I will say...
His kid doesn't even respect him.
That's true. His kid doesn't respect him, and I respect the kid for that.
The kid went to McDonald's,
Yeah.
so he's good in my book.
I will say, if there are any fathers who want to buy a house for me, gladly accepting.
I already bought my house, but if somebody wants to give me money, I'll take it.
So he tries to call off the kidnapping, but then he's not actually getting the money because they'll make the deal themselves, and Jared get a modest finder's fee instead. Instead of all the money to pay off the ransom and have all the money, blah, blah, blah. No. Just a finder's fee.
I would have been like, what's your fee? $750,000.
Try me, bitch.
Deadpan, but also it's your father-in-law, and I don't think... Well, then again, I can't say that I wouldn't picture myself saying that to Jim, because he's just a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, I feel like if he was hideously rich, he would just give it to me. Jim, if you're listening, love you, babe.
My father-in-law would absolutely not offer anyone that much money.
That's fair. That's very fair. I'm saying if Jim was hideously rich.
Okay.
Like, not if he had... Like, I'm talking won the lottery, obscenely wealthy. He would pay for me engaged, no doubt in my mind.
That is a question I love to ask people. If you won an absurd amount of money, what would be the frivolous thing that you bought? Like, not, I'll buy a house or a car. Like, what would be the real, just...
I'd buy a Birkin bag.
You buy a Birkin bag?
I would buy some stuff at Hermes so that I could buy my Birkin bag.
Okay.
But I would also donate. I would pay off my house.
Ignore all the actual feasible, like, smart things and, like, charitable
I would
things.
just buy a Birkin bag.
Yeah. No. Great. I love it.
How about you?
Probably a stupid, nice bicycle.
Okay.
Or
not as expensive as a Birkin bag.
I don't know.
I'm feeling a little guilty right now.
I don't know how much a Birkin bag costs.
Let me look it up, because you have to be invited to purchase one, first of all.
Stupid.
So this would be years in the making.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure you could get an invite by saying, hey, I have $1 million.
It's like a status thing. Like, if you listen to any lady rappers, a lot of them rap about it. If you go on used, I'm looking at 2 different bags. This pink one is $24,000.
Okay.
But I'm looking at this limited edition calfskin one. It's $249,000.
Yeah, that's more expensive than it's a handbag, right?
They can cost anywhere from $10,000 to $2 million.
Great.
Yeah, so catch me with the Birkin. If you see me with the Birkin, it's because I won the lottery. Done.
So if you're ever trying to find somebody to rob, look and see if they have a Birkin bag.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So Carl and I heard them say his name in the movie.
Carl and Blondie.
And Blondie, sure. Bleach Blonde.
I can't remember his name either. I'm horrible with names. You know, I always call them by the actors.
Yeah, but the issue is we don't know his actor either.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
just call him Blondie.
Peter Stormare from Prison Break.
Mm-hmm. Gage knew him because he and his dad like Prison Break.
So they go to kidnap Jean, and at first she escapes them by faking that she escaped through the bathroom window, but it turns out she was just
iconic,
hiding behind the shower curtain.
Smart queen, honestly, smart queen, and it would have worked too.
Mm-hmm. So they kidnap her. They're driving up to a cabin in Moose Lake, Minnesota. Have you ever been to Moose Lake?
I've never been to Minnesota except for their airport, so no.
Oh.
Well,
I've been to Minnesota.
There's tea about that. I can tell you later. I don't want to air my family drama on the podcast.
So they get stopped by a state trooper in Brainerd because they have temporary registration tags, or they don't have any tags at all, and they need their temporary registration tags. Steve Buscemi tries to bribe his way out of it with a $50 bill.
That part had me screaming. I was like, oh my God, I would never have the guts to do something like that.
Would you have the guts to kidnap someone?
No, number one, I guess not.
So
I would only return someone if I found them kidnapped.
I would have the guts to babysit a kid and make sure they nap.
Yeah, that's very true. I fancy myself the person that if a kid was being kidnapped, they would come to me and be like, hey, I'm being kidnapped, and I would help them, you know?
Yeah, and that's great, and I hope they do. I mean, I hope they don't, but I hope they do.
Yeah.
I fancy myself that as well, but I also look like me. And I know they would not come up to me and say that. They'd be like,
Yeah.
he's helping them.
No offense, Dan, you're a man.
That's true. I get so disappointed when I'm like walking on the street and I'm just like walking a distance behind a woman, not just because I am going to pass her at some point, and she like feels the need to stop or adjust her pace.
Grab her
or
Birkin
turn.
bag.
Yeah. Well, if it's a Birkin bag, it's because I'm going to rob her. But
Snatch her Birkin bag.
I feel so sad that they have to protect that. I understand why they feel the need that they have to protect themselves like that, but it's so sad.
If it makes you feel better, Dan, I tell others, including Gage on a regular basis, that men who go to the movies alone makes me incredibly uncomfortable.
Hi.
I know. I know. I got scared when we saw the newest Spider-Man live action movie because a single man sat next to me and I made Gage switch places with me, and I was anxious the entire time.
Oh my gosh.
He got up to go to the bathroom midway through, and I thought that was the end of the line.
What's he doing?
wish I
He's
was
going
kidding.
to get the guns. He just wanted
Literally, I wish I was kidding.
he wanted to see all the Sinister Six come back, and then now he can bring his guns out.
Literally, that's what I was scared of, and I know it's dumb, but like as a woman, these are the things I think about. Whereas men are like, hot dog, I get to go see Spider-Man alone without anyone, any children, any family to bother me? This is the best day of my life.
I did see Spider-Man Homecoming alone.
Yeah.
It was great. There were two other people in the theater. A mother and a child who had just beaten cancer or something. So I turned around and I said, congrats. I don't know.
Interesting.
I didn't really converse
How
with
do you
them
know?
much.
Like, were
because
they
they were talking
were
about
they-
him beating cancer. And I'm like, that's wonderful.
I thought you meant like you just assumed.
Hey, kid. Congrats on beating cancer. What?
I'm just bald. God.
So the trooper hears Jean whimpering in the back seat after they told her to shut up. So then they shoot him, and then they kill two passersby who kind of chase him down. They have a slow-speed car chase in the snow. Very exciting. I like how the scene is shot.
Yeah, I would agree.
You know, we can thank for that.
The Coen Brothers?
Big Raj.
Oh, yes.
The Deke. Do you know what other movies
Yes.
he's been the cinematographer for?
No.
I can tell you. A lot of them.
Oh, okay.
He was the cinematographer for The Shawshank Redemption. Oh, brother, where art thou?
Boo!
Whoa.
Yes!
A Beautiful Mind.
Eh.
1917.
Now, pause. These are a lot of male-centric films.
Yes.
Where are the women?
Okay. Empire of Light.
Don't know her. Is there a woman in that?
Yes. It stars Olivia Colman.
Okay.
True Grit.
A child, but still a girl, I guess.
No Country for Old Men. Well,
That's men.
The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford. Now that you say it, there are a lot of men movies. Kundun.
But there's also a lot of, like, historical fiction and historical films.
Yes.
Like, I would even deign to say that Shawshank Redemption, which I find to be so painfully slow and boring, literally, I know people die in that movie, but watching that movie for me is a slow death.
Wow.
I'm sorry to Stephen King.
You need to apologize
Morgan
to all the
Freeman.
men on IMDb.
Sorry to the men. I would never apologize to a man. Just kidding.
Okay, here's another one. Doubt.
Oh, Meryl? Mm-hmm. Based on the play? About the nuns? Absolutely. Slay.
Traumatizing.
Just kidding. That's also a boring movie to me. Sorry, everyone.
I would say the follow-up to Slay of literally traumatizing, that's basically what Doubt's about.
Literally traumatizing.
Back to traumatizing. Not traumatized by any of this is Police Chief Marge Gunderson, 7 months pregnant.
Pause. Her husband? What else has he been in, Dan? Tell me.
I recognized him, but I couldn't tell you.
He was in American Horror Story Freak Show as Twisty the Clown, who is my son. Love Twisty. This is a Twisty household. Now, the character fucked up, but his backstory was sad. And so Gage was like, Anna, it's Twisty. And I was like, ah! So, slay. We love Norm in this house. Okay, continue. He was bare minimum Twitter, but we love him.
I realized I have seen him in one other thing.
What?
The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Another history film.
Another history boy movie.
Oh, another history film.
Yeah, fill them up. The seats. Everybody's coming to town for these. So she's investigating with her other state trooper or police chief partner, who's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Who's really dumb. And they were like, well, I saw in his notes that he had written DLR. So we sent everybody out looking for plates that start with DLR. And she's like, do you think that meant dealer?
Yeah, I loved when she was like, oh, I don't agree with your policeman work.
She's an incredible manager of
she
egos.
She is a wonderful woman.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'll say it. She seems like a strong woman.
Yeah, no, she is. I will say that Frances McDormand. I don't know why I said I will say. It's not like I'm making some grand proclamation. She's great in this movie.
She slayed.
Yeah. She's the reason it all comes together.
Yes, I really liked her character. At first, I was a little confused. I was like, how's this all fitting? Like, all these different storylines. But she really killed it, I think. And say what you will, maybe I'm reading into this too much, but, like, it was kind of a slay that she was pregnant doing it, too.
Right? Women can do anything.
It was giving feminism. Women can do anything.
And it's also...
Women can do anything men can do in heels, pregnant, whatever.
I think it also works because they don't draw attention to it. She is just pregnant. It is a thing that people go through. I'm making this sound really...
It's just a part of her life.
Yeah. I'm making it sound really appealing.
It's just a part
people just go through it.
Yeah.
Like depression.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It happens to you sometimes.
Pregnancy. It's depression with an outcome.
I mean... More like an outcome with depression because postpartum is real. So
also when they said that the license plate started with DLR, I was like, oh my god, are they gonna say my Instagram name?
I thought of you instantly. I was like, DLR AAR?
Is it me?
My son?
On Instagram?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So they figure out that they checked into a nearby motel with 2 call girls, and they have the least appealing sex in the world.
I said to Gage, respectfully, as a fan of Steve Buscemi, every time he has sex in a movie or TV show that I'm watching, I think I always scream because it takes me by surprise. Like, I don't know why. I just never expecting it. And then all of a sudden he gets more. I think I've seen him in more sex scenes than any other actor.
I don't keep track, so I don't know.
It's just because I watched Boardwalk Empire and everybody was getting their dick wet on that show, especially Nucky Thompson. So
good for them.
Steve, constantly getting ridden. Just saying.
Also, they then, after having sex, do the best thing in the world, and that's watch Johnny Carson.
Low-key, how many parts of this movie are, like, low-key relatable? I mean, I don't have a TV in my room, and I'm not going into the details of my sex life. But, you know, you're in a hotel room and you're putting on Johnny Carson. It kind of makes sense, right?
Especially now, in 2023.
Yeah. Okay, not like that. But you know what I mean? Like the reruns of shows. Yeah.
So she goes and she questions the call girls, and then she goes to the car dealership where Shep, the man who gave Jerry the people to get in contact with, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And Jerry's like, no cars are missing. I don't know what you're talking about. He's a horrible liar also.
Yeah, he is.
I do like the one scene of him practicing being distraught on the phone.
That was hilarious to me. I was dying over that. I'm just going to say, Dan, did you find this movie to be, how do I put this? Kind of relatable, minus the crime part?
You mean the Midwesternness of it all?
Like the quintessential Midwesternness?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, thank God, because I was like, am I the only one who's like, every scene that's happening except for the crimes are like,
I've been in all of these
yeah, I
scenes
can relate.
before.
I feel like this is something I could say I've experienced in some way or other. Like, staying in a random hotel in the middle of nowhere because you're on a road trip, or like, you know, going to McDonald's to hang out with your friends, or like yelling at a car salesman.
Or even not
No
at this
offense, sorry,
level,
car salesman.
practicing being emotional on the phone.
Practicing making a phone call before you call the doctor to make your appointment. Like, come on.
Hi, okay, Anna, you're a big girl. You can do this. You're 20
Your
something
in-laws
years
doing
old.
a pop-in. My in-laws don't do a pop-in, but my grandparents, God rest their souls, used to do pop-ins all the time, and I used to see the way that affected my parents, so I can only imagine, you know?
My aunt and uncle live 2 doors away from my parents, so that's pretty frequent. My parents did say when I was in college, we will never pop in on you without letting you know. We will tell you if we are coming.
My parents did the same thing, and I said, oh, thank God. Like, it's just quintessential Midwest. The only thing they were missing was some casseroles. For real.
Absolutely.
Even the boots that... Even the boots that Frances McDormand was wearing, I was like, why does everyone I know own those boots in the winter? Like, those are the I have to go stomp around in the woods in the snow and muck for a few hours boots. Like, it's just, minus the crime, relatable.
Speaking of relatable, Marge goes on a dinner, not date, but reconnects over dinner with a high school class named Mike.
This part was weird.
Who is the saddest man in the world. His wife has died.
I was crying.
He tries to romance Marge immediately after saying, "Oh, so you're with Norm now."
That part was so cringe, and he like goes and tries to sit by her and put his arm around her. Oh my God, I wanted to shower. But she is a strong woman. She's a bad bitch.
Right. Also, she seems very happy in her marriage. Why would she?
Oh yeah.
Why would she try and break that with
Yeah.
sad Mike?
No, she and Norm were thriving together.
Right. So
They were complimenting each other so well.
Carl demands that Jerry hands over all the ransom money, not half, all of it, and to return to Minneapolis. So he's like, okay, you need to give him $80,000. So he tells his father-in-law the kidnappers have demanded $1 million
$1 million.
and will only go through him. And his father-in-law's like, I'm going to be the courier. I'm going to bring the money there.
He stresses me out.
So then Shep finds Carl and beats him up.
I mean,
As you would.
he kind of, not to say he deserved it, but he was kind of a grumpy grump. And he didn't even necessarily want to pay the money to help his daughter, which I know this was set up, and we're not supposed to be on, like, why am I thinking, is his name Larry or Jerry? I'm having a brain fart.
Who?
William H. Macy.
Jerry.
Yes. Thank you. Oh my God, I was fighting for my life. I know we're not supposed to be on Jerry's side, but, like, it kind of sucks that his father-in-law wouldn't put up the money for his own daughter. Like, that's such bullshit.
Right.
Am I wrong? Like, that ain't it.
And
my
he's
dude,
rich, too.
For real. Yeah, I feel like my parents, if I was kidnapped, they'd be like, anything. What's the cost? Because it sounds like that's his only daughter, too.
Really?
Like, he's...
Your parents would do that?
Do not kidnap me. I have things to do. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like any parent, if their kid was kidnapped, if they love their kid, would be like, what's the cost? We'll do anything. Whereas this guy's like, oh, they want that much money for her? Gross.
Right? Not worth it.
Boo,
Not even my
hiss.
favorite daughter.
It's his only daughter. My favorite daughter is my company.
So then they go to have the ransom exchange in the parking garage. And then Wade will not hand the money over without seeing his daughter. So Carl shoots him. Then Wade shoots him in the jaw.
Yeah.
A lot of blood.
That was gross. I also thought that Wade had a bulletproof vest on for a minute.
I did too. But where would he get that?
I don't know, but I really thought. I mean, I feel like as a rich person, shouldn't he just have one on hand?
Yeah, you know, all those wealthy people.
That makes sense, right?
Keeping them in their
Yeah.
garage.
Yeah. I wouldn't know because I'm a poor, but, you know.
But you're a homeowner.
Mm,
Better than
period.
me.
I'm rich in my own eyes. I'm rich of heart.
So then he kills Wade and the parking garage attendant who refuses to let him leave, even though he's covered in blood.
mean-
He keeps having this issue with parking lot attendants. At the airport, he's like, I need to leave. And he's like, you still got to pay the $4.
They have but one job.
Right?
I get it.
It's to attend.
I get it.
So then back on the way to Moose Lake, he realizes the briefcase does not have $80,000. It has $1 million. So he takes the $80,000 out to split with his partner and then buries the rest along the highway. In the movie, you don't do it in real life. You don't have to
Yep.
go to Brainerd to look for...
Do not go to Minnesota. You'll
That's
find
the
nothing.
end of the sentence. Do not go to Minnesota.
Maybe do not go to Minnesota. Anything you could do there, you can do in Wisconsin. It'll be a little warmer. So just chill here.
Just go to Ashland. Anything you want to do in Minnesota, you can do in Ashland, Wisconsin. Far north.
We went to Black River Falls. It was literally like 20 minutes from the border. Just kidding. Where's
Go to the
I don't even
driftless
know.
region. That's all you need. La Crosse. That's right on the border.
And there's a college there.
That's true.
We were. Hang on.
It is important.
Where was I? This is so important. Oh, there's the second Franklin. Yeah, we were just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Do you
To the
hear
border.
yourself?
That was, yeah. I feel like hop, skip, and a jump is also a very, like, Wisconsin-y. So,
Anyway, he goes
That
back.
was on purpose.
He goes back to the cabin, and his partner has killed Jean because she wouldn't be quiet. Hate when that happens.
if only it was that easy, Gage probably would have put me out of my misery by now.
Jesus Christ!
I'm just
You're
kidding.
getting married.
Yeah, I love him.
So Carl says they should split up, and then they argue who will keep the car. And Carl's like, I got shot in the face, you dumb big idiot. So then his partner kills him with an axe and puts him in a wood chipper.
That part had me screaming. I looked at Gage. I was like, "This is terrifying." And he's like, "Yeah, this is a little dark." And he's like, "Of all the things you read and watch and like consume, this is what's dark for you." And I was like, "Yes,
You watch way
this is
darker stuff
traumatizing."
than that.
Yeah, but
This is
this
realistic.
was
It
traumatic.
could happen.
This was traumatic. Somebody could put me in a wood chipper. You know what I mean?
That's-
Like it's been done.
That's why I don't spend much time in the area of wood chippers.
No, me
I
either.
don't trust myself.
No, I know I would hurt myself. I know I would lose a finger or something.
So then Marge learns that her friend Mike lied. He had no wife. He did not lose a wife. He instead is just mentally ill.
Ah, classic.
Who hasn't been there?
I mean, it was sad when that was revealed. I looked at Gage, I was like, that's also traumatic.
Yeah.
But also not impossible on the list of things that could happen in real life.
Yeah.
So,
then...
yeah, oh, side note,
Yeah.
when they were like, he
Oh,
lives in a
side
dino.
note?
Dan! When they were like, he lives in a dina, did you think to yourself, oh, he's rich? Because
Right?
I did.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's wealthy.
Yeah, everyone at Marquette who lived in Edina was very wealthy. It all came from, like, private schools, which, whatever, cool. But damn, you rich.
Well, no, yeah, I went to public high school, but, like, Edina sounds like they say they're from Edina, and in the background you hear a cha-ching. So,
So then Marge goes to the dealership, and Jerry's like, no cars are missing. I'll double check. And then he drives away.
iconic. Honestly, iconic. That part had me dead.
I just got to go double check the lot.
Oh, let me go double check the lot. See, I can't even do it.
Oh, I just got to go double check the lot.
Oh, I just gotta double check the lot. It sounds wrong.
because you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
So then she goes up to Moose Lake because a bartender heard someone bragging about killing something. And she sees the car, and she sees him putting his body into the wood chipper.
The foot sticking up?
Right.
Terrifying. 0 out of 10.
So she shoots him in the leg and arrests him. Killer Queen. Love it.
Slay. Slay. Also, it was stupid of him to run out onto the lake like that. I turned to Gage and I said, what if somebody had cut a hole in the ground? I know it's the middle of winter.
But people go
But you
ice
should
fishing.
never just run out onto the... Yeah, but, like, you gotta be careful. You don't know... Like, there were clearly no other ice fishermen around. You can't just run out onto a lake. What if the ice isn't thick on that lake? If nobody else is fishing and it didn't look like they were, that could be dangerous.
I don't think they were thinking about
Many times. What?
that. I don't think they were thinking about that. I don't think he was thinking...
many times...
I think he was just thinking, run.
In the winter, my grandma and grandpa's lake, somebody would drive out and their truck would go underwater. At least once a year you'd hear about it.
Oh, my gosh.
It's just not that thick.
Absurd.
That was a very Wisconsin story. I'm sorry.
So Jerry gets arrested at a motel in Bismarck, North Dakota, and then Marge goes home, and her husband says the post office has selected his painting of a mallard for a 3-cent stamp.
Okay, Gage and I had a discussion about this, because he's like, he never asks her about her day. And I was like, don't you think, like, he knows her day is stressful, so they just, like, have nice little conversations about his mallard painting? Like, what does he do for a living? Nothing? Is he a house
painter?
husband? Amazing. Let Norm be.
Yeah.
I love Norm.
I love Norm, too. I think there are a lot of ways to read this scene. The way that I read it was that even after her very stressful day and everything, there's probably a more dour reading than how you read it. She still has to come home and be like the supportive wife in spite of everything. But I like your reading better of just they're in a very healthy relationship and they're very supportive of each other.
I just think, like, he brought her Arby's at work. I think that's very sweet. She bought him night crawlers. Like, I think they just love each other, and he understands that her job is incredibly stressful and she's pregnant. He probably doesn't want to bring extra stress into the home.
Right.
So he's like, hey, you know what? Let's just talk about nice things today. That's how I interpreted it. I could be looking at it through rose-colored glasses.
I like that
I'm not
reading.
going to rule that out.
I'm going to go with that
Thank you.
one.
Gage agreed with me, so
Good.
thank you.
And that is Fargo. That's the movie.
I loved it. I
It's so
really
fun.
did. This
It's so
movie
good.
flew for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just everything about it. The writing, the acting, the directing, the cinematography, everything. It's all so good.
Well, and like I said, it's just quintessential Midwest in a lot of ways. Like,
Yeah.
minus all the crime and the murder and the sex with hookers. Everything else was relatable.
Okay, minus the crime and the murder, everything else was relatable.
Oh, Dan, how spicy.
Yeah, very spicy. That's obvious.
No, but you know what I mean? Like yup, that's Dan.
Been in a relationship with my wife since I was 19. Hookers every day.
Yup.
Why are they called hookers?
I feel like, actually, we shouldn't say hookers. I'm sorry, everyone. Sex workers. I'm sorry, everyone. That was my bad. I was caught up in the moment. I'm sorry.
Come on.
Sorry to the hardworking people. Sex work is work.
It absolutely
That's not
is.
a joke. That's
No, it
me being
absolutely is.
serious. Okay, good. I just want to make sure. I'm just trying to catch any flack. Please. I'm too sick to be canceled.
You can't cancel me. I have a cold.
Literally. It's a spicy cold, okay? It's COVID, but I'm not that sick, so it's a spicy cold.
Cold vid.
If I had, like, really bad COVID, it would be COVID, but I tested positive, but my left nostril was just a little plugged. It's a spicy cold.
Your sentence was, if I had really bad COVID, I would have COVID. Just fun. Just wanted to point that one out.
Yeah. Yeah, and, Dan?
Nothing.
Did I stutter?
I got some trivia for you.
Okie dokie. I said that on purpose with an accent.
So it was William H. Macy's idea to have Jerry rehearse before making the phone call about his wife's kidnapping.
Slay. Excellent choice, King.
Right.
I thought that was so fun.
And I was going to say William H. Macy has experience with crime, considering that his wife is Felicity Huffman, who went to jail for... What did she go to jail for? Something with, like, college admissions.
Was it... I was just going to say, was she the other one with Lori Loughlin or whatever? Oh, my God. How did he not go to jail for that, then?
He wasn't involved in it, apparently.
Whoa. Imagine waking up and finding... Whoa.
Here's what it says. In March 2019, it was reported that Macy and Huffman had agreed to pay someone $15,000 to take the college entrance exam for their daughter, Sophia. Huffman was indicted on fraud and conspiracy charges. For undisclosed reasons, no charges were filed against Macy.
Wow. Okay, I got it now. I have Felicity Huffman confused with Toni Collette.
Okay. I see that. They look similar.
Who I also had confused. Hang on.
With who?
With Frances McDormand.
Hmm.
I just had a brain fart on Frances McDormand's name is all.
You know, I met Felicity Huffman.
When?
I can tell you, it was it was the fall of 2018. She was at Marquette for some reason. Talking to a very small group of students because they did not promote her being there at all. And I introduced her and John Ridley, who she was there with.
Wow.
And then,
Did you?
4 months later, she was arrested.
Classic. Do you know Frances McDormand is married to Joel Coen?
Yeah.
They have a son named Pedro.
Love it.
It's interesting.
Pedro McDormand Cohen.
Yeah. That's crazy.
This is my son, Fernando O'Keefe.
Honestly, I guess.
So, after they were finished filming the scene where Carl and his partner get pulled over by a state trooper, the two of them were actually pulled over by a policewoman asking for their license and registration in the car they used for the movie on their way to a pancake house.
Did they say, "Oh, this was not a real car. It's for a movie"?
They accused the Coen Brothers of staging it, but they have denied that.
Oh, that's funny. I still can't.
What?
I can't believe Felicity Huffman jail. Oh my God! There's pics of her in jail. This is crazy. Is she still there?
No, she was there for like 10 days.
Oh, Martha Stewart did time.
Yeah,
why can't
like
anybody
2 years.
else? Serve your time.
They had the writers had Frances McDormand and John Carroll Lynch, who plays Norm, come up with a backstory for them. They decided that the two of them met while working on the police force, and then they got married. They had to choose which one had to quit. And since Marge was the better cop, Norm quit and took up painting.
Oh! Norm, slay!
Right?
He's a feminist. He's a feminist. Changed my mind.
There was also...
See, no wonder he didn't want to talk about it, because he probably had the tea already.
Mm-hmm.
And we just didn't see it. It was his turn.
There...
Defend Norm. My boy Twisty.
There's a spin-off TV show on FX called Fargo.
Yes.
That's like an anthology show. There was also a pilot filmed in 1997 that was supposed to be set slightly after the movie, starring Edie Falco.
Interesting.
It did not get picked up. It was directed by Kathy Bates.
The Kathy Bates?
The Kathy Bates of Titanic fame and Misery.
Oh, thank you. And?
Richard Jewell?
Fried green tomatoes, but okay.
I don't know.
American Horror Story.
Horror Story.
With my boy Twisty.
Harry's Law.
Full circle. Full circle.
That's all the trivia I have. I have a question for you,
Okay.
Anna.
I have an answer for you.
Would this movie be better, worse, or the same with Jonathan Taylor Thomas as the son?
Oh, better. Better. I would have believed him more when he said he was going to McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. Would you? I don't think that. I don't think that boy has eaten McDonald's.
No, he hasn't. He's like a vegetarian, but I would have believed him. Like his acting's better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, it's believable that you went to McDonald's. Absolutely.
Well, what about
Go get your McDouble, King.
With him, that's a meal for a week.
Literally, me too, though.
What about Jimmy Stewart as Jerry? I think it would be funny.
It would be hilarious.
Wow. You're darn tootin'. Trying to think what's
It would be so good.
this could work out real good for me and Gene and Scotty.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
The heck do you mean? I'm just going through the quotes page, and there are not a lot of long Jerry Lundegaard quotes.
No, but they did say "you guys" a lot in this movie, which reminded me that is in fact colloquial
That's true.
or regional.
Well,
A Creative Land
seeing as his
podcast.
special circumstances and all, he says I can knock $100 off that True Coat. It's turning into. It always turns into Barney Fife.
I knew you were gonna say Barney Fife.
Yeah, I know. I know what I sound like. I know my voice.
Yeah. You know your instrument.
I know my instrument.
Yes.
I need to rosin it up.
Ew. Rosin used to make my fingers so dry. Anyway,
Why were you touching it?
Because I played violin for 14 years.
Yeah, why were you touching the rosin though?
Because you hold it to put it on your bow.
Yeah, you don't hold the actual it's in like a box.
Well, if it breaks off.
Oh, you were just too
raw dog
aggressive
it.
with it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I played the bass.
That was
I
a
know what
little
we're
rough.
talking about.
You played the bass? Shut
I
the
did.
fuck up.
I had a black-haired bow.
Oh my god, he thinks he's a bad bitch.
I was a bad bitch. Everybody thought it was
And
super
the rosin
cool.
that's like this big. That is actually really sick.
Yeah.
My violin was orange. I wanted the dark colored one, but my mom said I should get the orange one because it sounded brighter. Which is true. I mean, the type of wood did affect the sound, but I think that the pretty dark brown one would have sounded just as nice as the orange one.
My bass was rented for the entirety of me playing it, and they had no record of us renting it, so we never paid anything. It
Damn,
was free
okay.
for 7 years or something.
My violin, I own it. It's over there.
Pull it
Next
out.
to a bass that
Fiddle
I...
us a little tune. You don't have to do this.
I can play a lot of things by ear, but it's not tuned at all.
I'm so jealous. I can't play anything by ear on any instrument.
Yeah, I have to find the first note, and then I can usually do a pretty good job.
Anything else to add about Fargo?
I really enjoyed it. I like Coen Brothers movies. I really love Oh Brother Where Art Thou. I liked Raising Arizona, so I wasn't really shocked that I liked this.
Oh, I didn't ask you.
That's all.
On a scale of 1 to 5 bodies being put into a wood chipper, what do you give it?
4.5. There are a couple parts where I was like, wait, what? But I think that's more so because I'm easily confused and not on them. I had to ask Gage, I was like, do we know what the deal is yet? And he goes, no, don't worry. And I was like, oh, thank God. But that's on me, so not on them. But I liked it. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it because I was like, oh, it takes place in the snow? Ugh.
That's why I have to
Then I
like
had a
it.
good time. Yeah. But then I had a good time.
Good. I'm happy for you.
How about you?
Same. 4.5 out of 5.
Perfect.
Fun time.
Slay.
Slay. Not traumatizing at all. You know what might be traumatizing?
Not traumatizing.
I have no idea. The movie that we're talking about next week, Burn After Reading.
I feel like that's a little intense.
Well, it's got John
Sounds
Malkovich in it,
intense.
so
Who else is in it? Anybody else I know?
Brad Pitt.
When he was young and hot?
2008. And George Clooney. And Frances McDormand. And Tilda Swinton.
Tilda, say less. We love Tilda in this house.
Have you ever seen Michael Clayton?
I don't know why, but I thought you were going to say Chronicles of Narnia. I was like, I have seen Tilda in Chronicles of Narnia. No, I don't know who that is.
Michael Clayton. It's great. Talk to...
Oh, it's a movie?
Yeah, talk to any
Apple.
me or Tom. Don't worry.
Yeah, let me put it in the group chat that I forced you guys to have with me.
that is it for this week's episode of In Conclusion. If you want to find us, we're on social media on Facebook and Twitter at and In Conclusion, on Instagram at In Conclusion Podcast. I am on Twitter at Dan O'Keefe86 and on TikTok at Not Dan O'Keefe. And on Instagram, if you listened through the episode, I gave you my handle. I'm not giving it to you again. I don't know why you would skip to the end of the episode to hear it instead of skipping this part. I don't know. Anna, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at AutomusPrime818, or you can find me on Twitter at AutobotsRollOut, capital O for Auto, capital B for Bots, capital R for Roll, and the O, and Roll, and the O, and out are zeros. Or you can follow my dog. She's way cuter than me on Instagram at JesterThePup1017. She's been a good nurse for me during COVID this week, so go give her some love.
I don't believe you, but...
She has been. She's been cuddling up to me and screaming in my face. On Tuesday, when I was very sad about being sick because I had to reschedule my dress shopping appointment because nobody wants to come hang out with you the day after you're released from quarantine. I get it. She was the only reason why I got out of bed. So
oh my gosh.
I was really sad. Okay, I got
That's
over
fair.
it, but
That's
I was
fair.
really sad. Not to sound like a first world problem, even though it is, but I was really sad. So
You can be sad. No one should
thanks,
tell
Dan.
you can't be sad.
Jester did.
Okay.
She said you can't be sad because I don't like when you and Dad are in different rooms, and this is stressing me out. So.
Well, we will be back next week with Burn After Reading. In the meantime, everybody stay safe and have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye. I guess I could stop being lazy. I guess.